Hey, beautiful people. I'm Mila.
Hey y'all, I'm Monica.
And thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you doing?
I am aligned and balanced.
That is good to hear. I know that I am feeling refreshed and spring ready. I am just, the week started off with such a great, you know, the 20th Monday was the start of spring, and it just has been full of newness, possibilities, rejuvenation, healing, and I'm just, oh,
Reflection.
girl, definitely. Haven't we? Because it is a new year, and it's interesting that you would kind of throw in reflection because I know that cousin Malcolm both sent us out, and for people who may not have listened to the podcast and they're new, welcome, welcome. Thanks, fam, for joining us. Cousin Malcolm was on our episode last season when we were talking about healing conversations, and he just kind of shouted us out with the fact that it is a new year. So for the next 12 days, just be mindful of what you're doing, because kind of each day of those um, 12 days kind of align with each month. And he
hmm
was saying, hey, set your intentions, stay present, and really try to vibrate at a higher level. Don't sweat the small stuff, really, because you don't want to take all that toxicity.
Energy from
Yeah.
other people. Whew,
Yeah,
child.
I know, and that was one thing I know we had kind of, text a little bit this week, how we were trying to protect our sacred space in that sense. Like, okay, we care about other people, but sometimes you can deplete yourself down to where you are so run down that you think that you got a problem. It's like, wait. Well, actually, technically, thank you, Lord. God is good. I'm actually okay. So,
Right. I know my counselor was like, bring it back. You've done too much work. Nope. Shut it
see,
down.
See, okay, I see, and that's very true. So I know that tonight it feels like it'll be our first episode where we really are talking about self-care and and our health this week. So I know we're going to be looking at National Endometriosis Month because that is what March is. It's not only Women's History Month, but it's Endometriosis Month. Also talking a little bit about chiropractic because I know that we got a business that we're featuring, and
Yes.
everybody is caught up with Swarm, and you know that I am definitely a fan of Beyonce and this new Netflix, or sorry, not Netflix, excuse me, Prime television show that was not really advertised, but it was advertised a lot in a way because I kept seeing like pop-ups and different things, and but we'll kind of go into that a bit because we like pop culture, and there was an album or two or some new music, I think, that we were discussing, or maybe a new song or something with
You talk
entertainment.
about the Usher song, girl?
see,
Ooh.
see, I knew there was always something fun to talk about. I'm also excited about, me right now, the energy I'm about, the Tiny Desk series. I mean, Usher last year was fire.
Oh, I
I mean,
love a tiny desk. I love NPR.
yes, I mean it's really where it's at. And I mean sometimes I'll just set up the YouTube on the TV and just like, hit the tiny desk, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen some really amazing. They did this one where they had the go-go from DC, and it was a whole vibe. But Ty Tribbett was featured on Tiny Desk, and he is so fire. I mean, when you hear his praise, it definitely makes you want to get up. So
Oh, did you ever hear that song? It came out probably a couple months ago with PJ Morton and Ty Tribbett. Did you
yeah,
hear that?
Walk by
Okay.
Faith. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I sure did. It was so interesting because everyone was talking about PJ, and then I kind of did a little research. Okay, I'm like, okay, Maroon 5. I know my cousins went to see him when he was in town or in Seattle
I wanted to, but I
last.
missed it. It was. I heard it was good.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, who's this guy? And then I see the Thai tribute, and I was like, oh wow, this is fire. So yeah, I mean, I like horns, and that's one thing about Thai tribute. You get a lot of instrumentals, musicianship. It's a whole vibe. It just fills the room. It fills the space. To me, it's great for getting you off your butt and praising.
Right. Feels the spirit. And talking about instrumentals, girl, guess who's finally going on tour? I've always wanted to see this group.
Who? I'm waiting because I know we last week we didn't get a chance to talk about it. That was one of
Right.
the things we were going to mention were some of the not to miss concerts. And I know I was like, oh, Janet Jackson and Ludacris are going to be on tour,
No.
and you're like, ah, and I was like, okay. I said, oh, Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, and you're like, oh, okay. So, and then of course Renaissance saw this year, but who's going on tour that you're excited about?
I'm not going to Renaissance unless she let people put that on Afterpay and she released more tickets. I'm dead. I'm like, girl, I can go to Antigua. No, I mean, I'm not saying that she ain't work, but no, not
I'm not. I
Renaissance.
just don't. I just don't. I feel like you spend your money seeing who you want to see. Because I know you like
Right.
Jill Scott. I know you like Janet Jackson. I'm a Beyonce fan. When she goes out on tour, I see her. So that's
Hmm.
just all. That's just how I'm saying it. It doesn't matter. The skies open up, miracles happen. I always end up
I'm
being able to
serious.
see.
Look,
Yep.
I'll be there right with you if that happens
Yeah.
for September. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I'm thinking, she's coming out Virgo season, so I'm excited. But no, back to the issue at hand. Who are you looking forward to seeing in concert?
Tony, 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 girl.
Oh
It
my,
never
Raphael
rains in
Sadiq,
Southern
Southern
California.
California. Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
And
Oh.
whatever you want,
Hmm.
girl, Oh gosh,
I like.
it's
Do
so many.
you know what today is? It's
Yes, it's the
yeah. That's gonna. Oh,
anniversary.
that's gonna be a very grown. Very. Are they doing like theaters? Are they doing like
I don't
intimate
know. They haven't
venues?
even posted the link. I don't know. I just know.
Oh, you heard it. Word in the community. Like the family was talking about it.
No, it's they posted that they're going on tour, but they haven't put
Okay.
the link out for tickets. So, if they don't come to Seattle, I'm about to run wherever, a nice, make it a trip.
And that's why it makes me laugh because, like I said, for Beyonce, I would, but I get it. Everyone has to love who they want to love, and I'm excited about that. And I'm excited because I think that Jill Scott is on tour this summer as well, and I know that we'll get an update on
Hmm.
that.
And that
Uh,
2020, I might make that a solo trip while you playing. I'm not waiting for nobody.
okay, I mean, I don't blame you because for real, it's one of those comebacks, reunions. I mean, aside of Tony, I really love Raphael Sadiq. Like that.
Yes,
I mean,
I
he is
mean, that's what I
brilliant.
really want to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I was
Girl,
thinking
what
he's
if
brilliant.
D'Angelo popped
Girl,
up at
I
one of
was
the
thinking about that song. You should be here. You should be here. Oh,
Yes.
do you
Although
know that's
I
a
have
vibe? Mhm.
yes, all I have seen D'Angelo live in concert on the pier in Seattle many moons ago, and
Mm.
it was delightful.
Because that's the whole
Yeah.
vibe. Do you remember when I hope they bring that back this year. It used to be so nice to go down. I mean, I randomly saw Macy Gray down there, but
Hmm.
even Macy said was a good show at the pier, and I'm using grace there, but it was good.
They have something similar. I'll have to do some research and come back with it, but
Hmm.
they do have something similar to that's been going on the last couple summers. So
Okay, okay. Well, see, that's why I said spring has all kinds of new possibilities. So the possibility of going to shows, going out, seeing people, listening to music, getting in the groove, getting that energy, that collective energy, that's going to be a good time. Now, for me, the only one I'm thinking about is Beyonce, and she's not in Seattle until September. So I'll still have plenty of time to let people's hot summer cooties cool down. Because or you'll see me and everyone at that place will know it's me because I will be in that full hazmat suit.
girl, you a mess.
But it'll be true. I'll be in a hazmat suit on the field. So that's just, that's how it has to be. But because Beyonce is legendary, the show Swarm that I was mentioning is so tongue in cheek because, it's kind of talking about her fans, which surprisingly enough, I don't think I've heard a lot of clapback from the fans or from the Hive per se.
Hmm.
But this show, I mean, let's start off with what we know. Donald Glover show, the main star of it. I mean, there's all kind of guest appearances. I mean, Chloe Bailey, Twitter's Black Twitter is on fire right now. The community family, people are really caught up in that. What is his name? He's on Snowfall. I don't really watch
Yeah,
Snowfall. Yeah, but
me either.
the main guy, I don't know. People love him, think he's sexy hot. I mean, he's young. You know what?
I guess Lori Harvey's they're dating.
Oh yeah, the guy. I want to say his name's like Damson or something
Yeah,
or whatever.
Damson Idris.
Okay, yeah. So he so I guess they have a sex scene in the show, and that's what everyone is really on fire with this salacious, love scene at the beginning. But for
Was it
me,
really like that? I mean, people act like they ain't never seen no ass on TV. I don't.
well, it was very quick. I mean, to me, the show
He
is like
said.
the show is
He
shot
said
in.
it was very quick.
Yeah, it was shot in such a way, like, for real. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but I really
Right.
think that I was probably like in the kitchen, like
Uh-huh.
looking over. So I was like, oh, I didn't get into that. But when I came back in the room, what I noticed and what I knew was going to be a problem was her homegirl was watching, like staring hard, and I was like in an uncomfortable way,
In the
and I
same room?
she was like in the hallway. Like the door was
Oh.
open and like her and the dude made eye contact. And I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, that feels creepy." I don't know, something about that rubbed me the wrong way. And I
Right.
think and then, you keep watching the episode and you understand that Mila know when things should rub you the wrong way. And that definitely rubbed me the wrong way. But when I sent you a text was when I was watching the second episode because I'm not done. I mean, it's only 7 episodes, and I guess the fifth episode was co-written by Malia Obama. So,
Mhm.
there's a lot of buzz, like I said, Donald Glover, Malia Obama, all these, guest appearances or people who are in it. But for me, the part that led me down a rabbit hole was when she's having this conversation with this character who says she's a stripper and she plainly doesn't look African American at all. She doesn't look black, she doesn't look like she's invited to the cookout. And then she says something like, yeah, that's why I go by this my stage name is Halsey because I'm black or whatever. And the girl looks at her just as hard as I look. And I actually pause the show and have to go on a like deep dive. I'm like, is Halsey black? Because I remember a couple of years ago, and Halsey's a pop star. Because I know you weren't as familiar with her work, and I am. I mean,
No.
I
Mhm.
actually like her music. I mean, her music is good, so I feel even better now that she's a sister. I'm like, okay, girl, get it. I said I could always tell. She's definitely invited to the cookout because she has said she is a black woman. She said,
Is she
I
kind
hate.
of like Tori? What's her name? Tori. I don't know her last name. I can't think of it. But she's like mixed or,
Well, there's a
but
lot of
but
there's a
yeah,
lot of biracial, but there's a
or
lot of
Mariah
biracial
Carey.
people. Oh, like Mariah, but no, but Mariah Carey has that curly hair. You knew there's something about
Right.
Halsey that you didn't necessarily know, but she rocked cornrows a
Right.
couple of years ago around the time that the Kardashians were appropriating cornrows, and Black Twin, honey, the family came for her, and then Halsey had to be like, no, I feel bad because like I might look like, I mean, this is almost a quote from her exactly, like I look like a white girl, so it's not me saying it. I look like a white girl, but I am a black woman. And I was like, all right, then get it, sis. If you're willing to, have that smoke and that fire of being a black woman in America, well, then welcome to the cookout, sis. So.
Okay.
So I was really surprised, but but that's not the part. The character who was playing the stripper is Paris Jackson, Michael's daughter. So I was like, oh, mind blown. I
Heal
was
the
like, this
world,
making
make
a
it a better place. I'm sorry, that's so shady
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So there was so much going on. So I know you said this weekend you're going to try to dive into it, and we will really have a grown folks review of it once Monica watches it and once I finish and get past. Let's get on to the third episode. But if you are not aware, if you are not watching Swarm, it is a. I thought at first I thought it was a comedy because some of the stuff is so outlandish, but I guess it's supposed to be kind of a horror thriller psychological twist, like what happens when fans are crazy. And that is something that I think all celebrities also have to worry about too. You don't know who's appreciating your work. I mean, we heard about podcasters in Seattle who, had an overzealous fan and
Unfortunately.
yeah, and he took his life and he took, the podcaster's life and her partner's life. So,
Right.
so people being obsessed with people is really serious, So anyway, I
Do you
know.
think Chloe Bailey had to get like a blessing from Beyonce to work on this series? Because it's very
It's very close. I mean, they're called Swarm. They're
right.
called a hive. I mean, it's doing everything. I mean, and they even have these like disclaimers at the beginning of the episodes. It's like, if it feels like, if you see any similarities too, then you're doing the right thing. Yeah, you're supposed to see these similarities too. This is basically about Beyonce
Wow.
and her people. I don't know. You know what? Who knows? Because Beyonce's busy, honey. She's getting ready for Renaissance. She doesn't. You know what? You make a film about, or make a show about my fans, because we do know that the BeyHive is kind of crazy. Do you remember when the elevator scene came out between Solange, Jay-Z, and Beyonce? And the hive was swarming and figured out who they thought was the guilty party, and then they made a mistake. And instead of like Rachel, actually it was the elevator scenario was what kind of led the foundation, but it was actually not until Lemonade came out. And
Mm-hmm.
then you know how, Lemonade, she kind of confirmed, infidelity and heartbreak and all this stuff.
Girl,
And
don't listen to that. It will put you in a mood.
honey, the spirits is heavy on that one. I said, girl, I said, could you have at least prayed before you went into the studio? Did it have to be so? Anyway, yeah, you're right,
Get some
girl.
sage or something,
Yeah, honey,
Lord.
some really holy water on that on that lemonade. But the BeyHive went after the wrong person. I said, "Oh, these mother." Okay, they went after Rachel Ray instead of Rachel Roy. I said, "Oh Lord," Rachel Ray was on a show and she said, "My social media has been flooded with all these bees and lemons," and she was like, it's not me." She was like, "Jay Z wouldn't even know. Like, who am I?"
That's
She's
people
like,
not even thinking logical. You know what I'm saying? They look at that thing and they just off
spell
horses running.
check.
Choo!
It's spell check. It's Rachel Ray versus Rachel Roy. I was like,
Right.
now we gonna have to be smarter as a hive. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we know, we understand, the queen is really the mother, but come on, people gonna have to be a lot smarter with that. But anyway, so Beyonce knows that her fans are extreme, because at one time Beyonce tried to call down her fan, the hive, and they was kind of like, no, lady, we gonna defend you. You gonna have to just take a seat. I was like, oh wow, I'm as I get older, I'm hive adjacent. I mean, I don't I don't have the same energy that I had maybe a decade ago for it. But definitely she is always, as a Virgo queen. She's always on my top list. So I'm really looking forward to finishing
Well,
Swarm and us having that conversation. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So now, let's get into the meat of things. Okay. And really, this is National Endometriosis Awareness Month. And that is a topic that we kind of covered last year, but there's always more to delve in with it, and actually we got a lot of positive responses where women were kind of reaching out to us and saying, hey, this is interesting. So, Monica, where do you want to start with endometriosis?
So let's just go over the general information. Basics if people are not familiar what endometriosis is. Endometriosis, sometimes called endo for short,
Mm-hmm.
it's a common health disease that affects 11% of American people between ages of 15 to 44. I think that percentage might be higher just because people get diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
The diagnosis can take like anywhere from like 5 to 10 years. They took 10 years to diagnose me,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately 60-70% of the women with endometriosis who are fertile, unfortunately, it's like I had just mentioned, it's tough to get diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And also it affects
Your fertility. Yeah.
African American women, women of color. Like I said, it can take a long time for the diagnosis. So there's different types of endometriosis. There's thoracic, it affects the lungs,
Mm-hmm.
pleura, diaphragm, and airways. There's reproductive, it affects the fallopian tube,
Mm-hmm.
cervix, uterus, ovaries, vagina, uterosacral ligaments, and rectovaginal septum. Uh, Urinary, which can affect the kidneys, bladder, and uterus. Digestive affects the appendix, bowel, both small and large intestines, and liver. Basically, it can affect your whole body.
Okay, and you know what? And that's really interesting. And I like that you did, kind of emphasize that it affects the whole body, because once again, I want to just make sure that the point is made that endometriosis is not just a painful menstrual cycle, even though that's kind of one of the warning signs, is that it is a painful
Symptoms.
disorder,
Yeah.
but it does affect the tissue um, in your uterus and and the normal lining, and it can cause it to grow outside of your uterus. And that is where when things grow in different places than where they naturally belong, that's a problem. Like you're
And
getting into you're
mhm.
giving people all the real facts, but I'm like, yeah, the problem with endometriosis is something is growing outside of the place that it needs to be in
And
your
that's when
body.
it starts squeezing on all different organs in your body and causing other issues.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and that's not good. That's no, as you would say, that's no bueno.
no bueno. There's 4 different stages.
Hmm.
Stage 1, it's a few superficial implants, mild adhesions.
Mm.
And these are classifications from American Society for Reproductive Medicine.
Okay.
Stage 2, slightly deeper implants and more adhesions. Stage 3, deep implants, small chocolate cysts, ovarian endometriosis, um, more rooted in flimsy lesions, scarring. Um, Unfortunately, that's where I'm at. And part of stage 4 is deep implants, large chocolate cysts, many dense adhesions, more scarring. Um, and
And that's
yeah, understand all the pain with all those different types of stages. Even if it's stage 1, it can be just as painful if you're like in stage 4.
right. Well, when I was doing a little bit of research on it, they kind of mentioned like the Mayo Clinic and different outlets about endometriosis. Since it's Awareness Month, there is a lot of information that is available for
Mm-hmm.
people. But they were kind of mentioning that there's a lot that goes into this, not just like you said, your menstrual cycles being impacted, but it's also the pain, the tiredness, the anxiety, the depression. There's so many things
Mental
because
exhaustion,
because of the
emotional.
hormones. Yeah, and so I feel like we're always telling each other to, call your sisters, call your people, love on each other, but have a bit of extra grace for people who are saying, because I think, in society now everyone's like, oh, it's your period. Oh, but no, you don't
Well,
know
you
how
already know
people are
you got
menstruating. Yeah.
right, and you already know you got personal experience dealing with me.
Yeah, I mean, no, and it really can shut you down. And it's not like you don't, you're like, oh, I just want to be dramatic. No, you're in serious, serious pain. And it's like you can't even, there's not even any way to imagine, because then it actually is like a bigger issue. And I'm not trying to HIPAA laws. I'm not trying to just
Right.
tell all your business, but what I will go down to just make sure people are really aware of what it is. Like the tissue acts as endometrial tissue would. It thickens, it breaks down, and
Mm-hmm.
bleeds with each menstrual cycle. But because the tissue, when you have endometriosis, has no way to exit your body, it becomes trapped. So,
Accumulates. Yep.
and then it involves your ovaries, and then you get cysts, and then they can form, and then that's where you get the scarring, the tissue,
Mm-hmm.
the thick, and all these other complications. So I feel like just because,
Ovarian cancer.
see, and just because you might have an easy cycle doesn't mean that your sister is having an easy cycle. It doesn't mean that you
Right.
should be like, well, girl, when I'm on my period, I go run a 5K and I go swimming with the sharks. Girl, that's you.
And the
Everybody is
cold
different.
part, yeah, and the cold part is you get these symptoms even when you're not on your cycle.
Yeah.
If I'm stressing, girl, it's not even, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to do some qigong or breaths or get a massage or something
Yeah.
because when I stress, it brings on additional pain.
Yeah, and I know it has to be real, because there have been times, okay, like I said, this is your story, so I don't,
Mm-hmm.
with him, I'm
No,
not trying to put your business out there, but you've had cycles that have lasted longer than 5 to 7 days. Now,
right.
ladies, because this is for a family show, so it's for everybody. But ladies, let's keep it 1,000. When that thing is lasting over 7 days, I if it lasts 8 days, girl, I would be calling 911.
You're
911.
drained or exhausted. About,
Yes, that's too much. That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. And girl, I've heard you be like, "This is day 20." What? No, no. Jesus be offense right now. I said, "Is it?" I wonder, is endometriosis, on a side note? I wonder, was that technically what you would say the woman with the issue of blood had, that just touched the hem of his garment? Because they said for 12 years she was, she couldn't get it right, and no one could help her. I bet that is
You
basically.
know what? I never actually put that two and two together like that, looked at it like that.
Yeah,
That's, you know
yeah,
what? Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Hey, see, look at endometriosis even made it into the word. Okay, so it is serious. I mean, because I'm like, wait, because the way you describe it, and like you said, it can go so long, and it's not just painful, but it's all of the other things that go along with it. They say it's painful sometimes to have intercourse. When I was looking at the signs, I wanted to be, supportive with this issue. You know, as like I said, you've been dealing with it for many years, but a long time it went undiagnosed, and we've talked about that as well on the show about how you have to be your own advocate.
Advocate for everything in the medical field.
Because they will look at and if you don't think that you'll have to be an advocate for yourself, what I guarantee is if you have a parent, a loved one, or a child that you care about,
You
at
will have to
some
be there
point
for them.
you will have to advocate. And it's so nice to think in your mind that I'm going to just, whatever the medical professional tells me, I'm going to agree with. But I'm going to tell you, you don't love
Mm-mm.
your person if that's the attitude you have. Because sometimes it's questioning, sometimes it's bringing into remembrance, sometimes it's reminding these people that someone cares about this person. So you can't treat them like they're dusty and disgusted. And that, and that's a shame that people feel that way. But it is true. If you are in a medical setting and you don't have anyone to advocate on your behalf, your chances are slim to none. I mean, it's God that's keeping you, because medicine will be failing and making mistakes, and they will look you. They are worried about covering their self, making sure that their insurance premiums don't go up, making sure that they can avoid these lawsuits. They're not always worried about healing and looking out for your interests. But sorry, sidebar. Back to you, Monique, on this endometriosis, because it's very true, and people might not even know. So, what are the signs? Like, are there like symptoms or signs that people should, if you have a few of these, you should maybe consult your doctor and do some tests? Like, how were you diagnosed?
I had all the what you had just went over previously. I had those, the heavy bleeding, um, the, heaviness in my lower abdomen, thinking I'm pregnant.
Oh yeah, because they said bloating. I read something about like they call it endo bloat or something.
Right. And I
Okay.
mean, literally looks like I could be like 6 or 7 months pregnant.
And we know the way you are working on your body, girl, and that thing is snatched. When you put on an extra pound in your middle area, it's apparent, you know?
Right. And
Hmm.
so the other symptoms, you already mentioned pain with intercourse, pain with bowel movements or
Mm.
urination, excessive bleeding,
Mhm.
even bleeding between your periods, infertility. Also, you may experience diarrhea, constipation, bloating, vomiting, nausea,
Mm.
especially during your cycle. Other symptoms: brain fog, mood swings, migraine, fatigue, insomnia, anxiety,
Mm.
night sweats, shortness of breath, chest pain, low back pain, feeling cold, breast pain, and more.
Wow, I would say that sounds a little bit like C19 too. I'm like, girl, this is a full on problem. I mean, I'm like, what? Wow, that's a laundry list. Okay, so it's not something that I'll take so lightly, because, like I said, there are people in my family that have had endometriosis too. But like you said, people just play it off like, oh, that's just a painful. They just have bad cramps. That's just a bad period. Get over it. You'll be all right. Take some Tylenol. And I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
sidebar real quick here, just thinking about when medical professionals tell you to take things and they don't want to treat you. I remember being 21, so this is this is a lesson here. I was 21, and this is the last time I went to this particular place. I don't want to. At the time, its initials was GH. And it was in the Seattle area.
Group death.
And girl, and I was born there, right? So I've been going there my whole entire life with this particular they're HMO. And so I went there and I legitimately was sick. That's what we discovered.
Right.
And I legitimately had the flu. But at the time, but it just hit me in such a way. I don't even know, you know why? Because I had healthcare coverage and it was on my parents' dime. I was on their insurance side and care, honey. You go to the doctor when you need to. So I went there, but I actually heard the nurse, and she was a sister. So this kind of cut differently. Like, this hurt me differently in my heart. But I heard this old hag, because she wasn't an auntie. She was some old hag BS outside talking about talking about yeah, and like I said, we've discussed our different, body issues, what's going on. But I heard her say, yeah, she's 21. I think I was 2020. She's 21. She's probably just pregnant. And
Mm-mm.
ma'am, I shouldn't hear you being outside talking to other people about what's happening inside of the room with me, and it made me feel a certain way. So of course, what they do, they make me take a pregnancy test. I'm not pregnant. You don't. I could have been a virgin. Like, what the hell are you talking about? I came because I have symptoms of the flu, not symptoms of pregnancy. But I just think it's really interesting how a lot of symptoms where your body is in distress or there's a problem are very similar to other things. And like I
Right.
said, you have to advocate for yourself, or like I said, they will be having you taking a pregnancy test and not treating what the heck is really wrong with you. Okay. So
No, that's right, because endometriosis is considered an autoimmune
mhm.
disorder disease too.
Mm.
So, and so they say, there's no cure for it, but you can do things to help alleviate.
Okay.
First, finding a good OBGYN who is actually going to listen to your concerns
Mhm.
and advocate for you, and actually you both are um, participating in your care plan. They're just not telling you what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
That makes a difference, girl. When you find a good doctor that you vibe with, I'm gonna tell you, I don't care where you live. You can live in 5 states away, and you still trying to hold on and figure out how to keep the doctor that you have. A good doctor is a rare gift. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's like heaven smiled on you.
exactly. And so, get referrals if you need to find another OBGYN,
Mhm.
interview these doctors.
Mhm.
This is your medical. We've already talked about this in previous
Mhm.
episodes. This is your insurance. You interview these doctors and see if that's going to be a fit for you. You know what
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because this is your body, this is your life. You only get one.
Mhm. If you go into your doctor with a legitimate problem and they start telling you about something else that has nothing to do with your problem, like you go in there like you go in there, you're like, oh, I have pain and cramping on the inside. And they're like, well, if you walked a little bit more or if you went on a diet. Nope, that isn't, we're not starting there. We starting with why I came, why I'm actually here. So really it's
Some
the
of these
energy.
doctors need to take their own advice too. Don't tell
Ooh,
me to go walking when you need to.
mm.
Anyway.
I know. Wait, Monica. Wait. You said you're not going to no doctor that's physically not fit and physically not living the life that they talk about, right? Because they're supposed to be educated on these things. And if you're
Exactly.
not motivated to take care of yourself, why do you think you're telling me something?
Exactly.
Well,
I sometimes I just want to roll my eyes. I'm like, are you serious?
hmm
Okay.
I
Like
said,
my
yeah, and
nephew.
don't be it.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was like, don't be afraid to question these doctors either. And like I said, and if you don't feel like you're gonna have your voice, or you feel like you're gonna get run over, or you feel like you're gonna be too overwhelmed with the information that's presented to you, you
Take
better
some
take
Auntie.
somebody. Thank you. You better take
Yep.
somebody that you care about. That cares about you and loves you. Who your business won't be out here in the streets. That's why we're celebrating sisterhood and friendship, because I know I could take Monica to an appointment if I needed to. Like
Right.
it hasn't come down to that, but I'm like, hey, I know if I, whatever, we rolling.
And you know what? Before you even get to a appointment where
Mhm,
you're gonna have to pay a copay,
mhm,
uh, go ahead and research some people. I
mhm,
research my doctors. I will find their social media. I will go to a LinkedIn.
mm.
I will read reviews because you're not about to waste my copay.
Yep, girl, and woo, Monique, and I know you love to do a deep dive. So if you're gonna deep dive on the man you talking to, then I sure know you're gonna deep dive on the person that's gonna look inside of your JJ. So it all makes sense to me. It's all full circle, girl. It's all full circle. It makes sense. Okay. Okay, well, I like that you also wrapped it up though, Monica, with things that people can do. So it's like, although there's not a cure, and although it is painful, and you don't want it to get to step level 4, so when you start feeling the problem at level 1 and level 2, go in there so that they can start treating you, because it's always easier to treat something in its infancy or at the beginning
Exactly.
versus when it's at 4, and over the course of the podcast, Monica has been transparent with us, and that is what I love. We holding nothing back, really. I mean, we telling so
Right.
much business that we look back and we go, wait, did we really go there and say that?
Right.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
I
So,
did want to just mention one other thing in
mhm,
regards to the endometriosis. So
okay,
um I had went over a few bullet points about how to manage your
right,
endo, but keep a journal,
okay,
which I keep a lot in my head, but it's better to keep a journal, electronic notepad to track your health condition symptoms, eating habits. And like we already said before, monitor how your body feels daily, that way you can kind of see how your flare ups are coming on. Your diet, manage what you eat daily, look into acupuncture. You already look, I had my acupuncture visit on Tuesday this past
hmm,
week, y'all. I don't play with that, and I got a B12 shot because it just reset everything. I'm feeling a lot better.
okay. It's
uh
spring. We like a
right.
good spring clearing.
Okay, look into yoga, stretching, walking. Look into CBD gummies, CBD lotion for pain, herbs, however you take that. Like I said, meditation, manage your stress, holistic approach. I do both. I lean more on Eastern medicine, but I
Hmm,
do, have Western medicine. I have Western doctors. So
hmm,
but it's you. Like, take care of you, love on you. Like, you know what
self
I'm
care.
saying?
Truly, it
Yeah.
is self care. We really are emphasizing self care. If you don't take care of yourself and you fall out and you're not here, all the people that you thought you were working hard and living for, they out here in the cold without you. Okay. And
Okay.
if you think you can't take care of yourself because you don't want to inconvenience your partner or any mess like that, I'm gonna tell you they're gonna be jumped to the next person before you're really cold in that grave. So take care of yourself, sis.
Exactly. And then I did want to give a mention out to this information I'm pulling from is from endoblack.org, and it's
Mm,
organization um, for sisters about endometriosis. And it has an array of information on there. Like, this is your go-to. If you don't know where to start, go here.
mm. Mm. I like I said, Monica, very on point with that. I mean, a way to kind of remind people to maybe, revisit the conversation. And I appreciate it. So I said, thank you for again being transparent and open and like educating us on this real issue that people might not even be aware of. You might have endometriosis right now and you're just at level 1, but you're like, oh no, my period, that's just how it goes. I'm supposed to spot 15 times during the month and I'm supposed to have a 10-day period. That's just how I am. No, it's not.
No, that's not normal.
Take
Mm-mm.
yourself to the damn doctor. Okay.
Right.
Immediately. And if you go, I don't have medical coverage, I don't have this,
You know what? Let
Planned
them
Parenthood.
bill you,
Well, you was
or
gonna
that
say it.
too.
I was gonna say Planned Parenthood is still out there. People can love, hate what they want to, but if you're in Washington State, get yourself to get yourself over to Planned Parenthood and take care of your body. Or like you said, bill you later. They're getting ready. Wait, wait, isn't word on the street that they're gonna be able to start writing off medical collections soon here?
Did I say that?
No, but no, but no. It's word on the
No.
street because people been telling me, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I don't
No,
know. I
no,
haven't done no
I
research on that, but
no, I actually I think I got something from Experian about it. No,
mm,
they're making some changes as of 2023 in regards to medical collections. If they're under a
okay,
certain amount, they're going to be removed, because that's just silly. I mean, people
yeah,
are already suffering with their medical, and then you just gonna, it's, you know what I'm saying? It just quadruples the whole, like, anyways, there
yeah,
shouldn't be any medical debt, period. But
yeah,
let me, that's a whole nother conversation.
yeah, girl. That's a Miracle Medical Association here. Oof, yeah, it's very, very powerful. And sometimes it's about who's lobbying for you versus what is
Mm.
really right or wrong. But, but
Look, you better go rub shoulders with a lobbyist then.
Well, you better have your pockets right. Okay, lobbyists ain't doing nothing for free. Okay.
Okay. They like
Okay.
Rihanna. You better have my money.
Yeah, really. Pay me what? Okay. Anyway, yes, very much so. Very much so. So, okay, with that in mind, I know that the business that you're going to feature this month, and I'm not getting into your business, but we are going to segue into chiropractic, because I was like, oh, we're going to talk about endometriosis and, whether or not you should see a chiropractor and all this stuff, and kind of giving you some tips because it is spring, and, what I love about a chiropractor is it really helps you reset your body. It adjusts your body, and it is necessary. I've had to use chiropractic services several times in my life. When I had my neck surgery, even though I was young, I would say I was younger, and I don't think I truly got everything I needed to. And
Mm-hmm.
it was because you're going to the chiropractor's office, and they also typically do massages there. So I was really on the massage and the PT element of chiropractic. And then I, was in an accident, and then I actually needed that low back part. Like, I actually needed the adjustments. And I'm gonna tell you, don't sleep on it. I realize that I do want to kind of address the elephant in the room, that chiropractors are doctors, but they're not medical doctors.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So they are, they do graduate with a doctorate of chiropractic degree, and they do have extensive training in chiropractic arts, and they are licensed practitioners, but they're just a different kind of doctor. So they're not going to be prescribing you any medicine or
No.
things like that, because they're not a medical doctor.
Until the medical association changes things, then so
Exactly. So a chiropractor will work to improve your nervous system. It'll help aid with other ailments. And then a medical doctor generally works on studying the blood. They study the blood, they do all the tests, they prescribe you medicine. Some people can say a medical doctor isn't going to heal you, but a chiropractor is worried about the nervous system, your spine, and they will help get you right. And I will say,
holistic.
yeah, and I will say, I have to. I'm a fan. I was like, if you feel like there's a pain, or you're stiff when you wake up, or something's not right, find you a good chiropractor. The thing is, it is an out of pocket cost, but it's kind of like if you were going to get a massage. I'll say the same kind of cost. And that first day, you might be like, well, actually, as soon as I lay on the table and they start boom boom, when I get adjusted, I feel better. But you drink a bunch of water, and then
Mm-hmm.
days later, you're like, wow, I feel amazing. One birthday,
Right.
I was so messed up, and I couldn't get into my chiropractor until like the day after my birthday. Oh, it was so sad. But when I did, I was so happy, because I have never been more. Oh my gosh, girl! I was like,
Relieved.
yeah, girl, because I was practically crawling.
Right.
Like, I was in so much pain. I was like, what the? But that man, when he touched me, I thought I fell in love, just because he straightened me out. And then I thought the dude did it good until I had a female chiropractor, and she did some things where I was like, "What? The men don't know how to." Well, so I ain't never coming back to no man. Of course, a man ain't gonna know how to work your body and do none of the right damn things. Oh,
Well,
she
my
did
new
things.
chiropractor is and my new chiropractor is a woman this time, so you are on point with that.
Because she popped me in my. I was like, wow. I said the men, because the guys were doing it good, and you don't have
Right.
experience, and I don't know why in medical professions sometimes women like to defer to men. Child, you better go to the woman, the person that has the same issues that you have. If you
Exactly.
smart, oh my goodness, she really pulled out some things that kept me going for. I didn't have to go back to her for like almost a year. I was like, wow, ma'am, thank you. So go ahead, Monica, tell us about your new chiropractor and the business of the week.
So, and like you had mentioned, with the chiropractor, the nervous system controls and coordinates all organs and structures of the human body.
Mhm.
So, misalignments of the spinal vertebrae and disc may cause irritation to the nervous system and affect the structures, organs, functions that may result in the conditions. Um, so, I actually Googled her because she was like, "How did you find out about us?" I Googled her last year because I was looking for a person like myself,
Mhm.
melanated, African American, Black, whatever you want to call.
Mhm.
And so
A cookout participant. You was looking at somebody who was invited and was going to participate at the cookout, basically,
somebody who
family.
can actually has has went through some of the same experiences or
Mhm.
can empathize a little bit
Mhm.
more and kind of know if I say something like you just we looking at each other and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Girl, that's a connection.
Okay, so Phoenix Rising Wellness Center. Um, and the doctor, Dr. Shamika Cordis,
Mm.
local chiropractor since 2011. She owns a clinic in Lakewood, Washington, and Olympia.
Okay, so south for you southern birds in Washington State, them
Right.
I-5 Southers, that's where you're gonna be at.
Yeah, and so she's been around the U.S. She's been in Brooklyn, New York,
Mm,
Chicago,
mm,
Missouri, I
mm,
believe Arkansas. So,
mm.
but she
Ooh,
decided to come back here because she actually graduated from high school in Olympia and decided to come back here to run
great.
her practice.
Well, that's hey, I'm loving that. Okay, and have you already gone to her before, and or you have an appointment that's upcoming in the future?
No, I have already had my consultation and my appointment with her.
Hmm.
And so I will be back the following week, and so we can go over my care plan. And like you said, if you don't have insurance, you can look at the state, or you just make adjustments to your pocketbook. I figure, I spend money, hundreds of dollars like that real quick. Like me, I'll invest in my body. So
Yeah. I mean, health is wealth. It is
right.
the worthy investment because if you're not here or if you're broke down, no one wins.
Because I don't like having migraines. I
Mm-mm.
don't have to, why am I wearing sunglasses in the house looking like I'm a damn vampire? Like, what is going on? You know what I'm
Vampirus.
saying?
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh,
I
I love
waking
it.
up in the morning and your hips burning with your thigh, you trying to stretch it out, and you're just like, oh
No.
Lord.
Yeah, because that's more than that. Because I think sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't need to go to a chiropractor because I could just do some yoga. I can just stretch it out." No, no. They actually need to
Mm-mm.
put that, and I call my chiropractor, and I've only called one other person that's a magician, was my makeup artist, but I call my chiropractor a magician. I was like, "What's going on with these men? What kind of what are you doing back here? You done touched me. You went right to the spot, okay, and then you hit me, baby, one more time, and I'm okay." Like, what? This don't even make any sense. Yeah, no, there's not a level of namaste in it that you're gonna get if you need to see a chiropractor. So you do need to see a chiropractor.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
you don't even have to have no neck injury or from a car
Mm-mm.
accident or back pain. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you can have issue like you having colds on the time,
Mm.
asthma, bronchitis, ulcers. Like, it affects everything because the nervous system is
System.
affected to all your organs in your body.
It's called getting grown. Yay.
Okay.
I mean, it's a highlight of getting grown that we don't talk about. And people probably are like, I never thought about a chiropractor. Why would I go? Well, I'm gonna tell you this. You can play with yourself, but you're the one that's hurting.
I mean, it's quality over quantity. Like, I
Hmm.
just, people are like, I don't, to each his own. Do what you want to do, but I know I'm not trying to look, um, I'm not trying to be feeling in pain, broken, disgusted. You gonna be like, she's 70, and
That
say
I
I'm looking
know. Wait,
55.
wait, hold on. That is the age that popped out. It's like, oh yeah, she gonna be one of them twerking 70-year-olds. Where you're like, is that really appropriate? Does Auntie need to sit down, or does Auntie need to keep
Well,
going? Yeah, okay, I feel you. Because Auntie said I'm gonna be living my best life. Thank you. Plans.
okay.
Manifestation. I love it. Okay. So, well, on that note, then, Monica, that's why I do love to catch up with you because I don't know how I felt when we started. I will just be 1,000. I mean, I felt positive because I love getting together, and I love the family, and I can't wait to hear what people are gonna say. But I think I was tired. But girl, perked me up and brought me back to life, and I smell jerk chicken wings in the air. So I feel like
That's hilarious because I do not eat chicken wings.
no, no, it wasn't the things that made you happy, honey.
Okay.
I didn't say I smelled bok choy and garlic or something in the air. I said I smelled jerk chicken wings in the air, and my
Okay.
spirit was feeling really revived. And so I'm like, man, I want to get an appointment with my chiropractor now. I mean, we're shouting out your business, so I'm not mentioning mine because there's several in Seattle. And if
Right.
you want someone who's after so many ethnicities in Seattle, go get you one. Whoever makes you comfortable, and they don't seem like they're bootleg, but really do check their credentials a bit. Just because,
Exactly.
just
You
because
don't
it
want
is your
nobody just
nervous
messing
system
around
and
on
your
your neck.
spine, girl, then you be mad. You be like the aunties told me to go do it, and now I'm messed up. No, 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 no,
No, we're
no.
gonna have to put a disclosure after these episodes.
This is really a big disclaimer. We're not responsible for any of that. We are just speaking from experience. That's why it's called lessons. Okay, lessons. But
Okay.
on that note, Monica, is there anything else that I'm forgetting?
I did want to say something. You mentioned me twerking at 70, but I am taking a twerk dance class on Saturday.
Mm, highlights. Maybe we'll see something on the Instagram story.
Maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna do that with one of my girlfriends, and I've been wanting to do it. So I'm just like, let me just go ahead and do it. I'll probably be in the back. I might be one of the more mature women there, but it's all good.
Oh, girl, black don't crack. They ain't gonna know how old you are. Be wherever you're gonna be in there. And you already like to twerk, so that's funny. I mean, because I was like, you gonna make me think of another line, a side story. Because you know what? I said I've been down south with Monica. We were seeing her people, and they must have had me at a juke joint.
Oh, the
And
sugar shack.
yeah, girl, and that's when I realized that I'm real, real Northwest. Like Monica got a lot of ties to her southern roots. I got Thai enough. People are like, "Oh, you got an accent, and where are you from?" I'm from Seattle. Calm yourself down. But I've never felt more. Less rhythmly challenged and skill. And it's crazy because we did straight line dancing, for our little ninth grade Tolo, at the school I went to. So I understood heel and toe and a slide, slide, slide. But I got down there with Monica and her people and everybody. It was like, I was like, how do you guys know these damn dances? Everybody was up, line, shimmy, shake, drop, pop, up. I was like, girl,
Girl, you gotta get a couple shots and get some moonshine, and you be all right.
But how in the hell do y'all even know what you're doing? Everybody this way, and then everybody was. It wasn't like people were freestyling it. No, everybody was doing a coordinated dance, and
Right.
I'm like, well, is there like a black dance newsletter that I didn't get? I got the black shot, so I just want to. I just want to know. Well, was there a black newsletter for how we all go online? I know how to do the electrics. But that's about it. I mean, I know how to do the Cupid shuffle, but they explain it. But no one in this club was saying two to the left, two to the right, drop it, hip it, pop it.
You gotta get in where you fit in, and then they'll help you out. But there are like 50, 11 line dances, though.
Girl, it's ridiculous. I remember y'all had me. We were at Wonder Bar, which just anyway, back in the day, and y'all was out there wobbling. And I was like, I don't know how to wobble.
Oh, babaloos.
Yeah, I was like, wobble with it, wobble with it, wobble with it. I was like, I don't know how to do that either. I was like, I'm from Seattle. Let me just go ahead and enjoy and like be on the side, like lifting my arms and like, oh, the music is catching me up. I'm just so caught up. I can't do it. But I was like, oh, the hell. So, okay. So sorry. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good time at your class. That is what you're looking forward to. I am looking forward to more spring things, and I can't wait to tell you about what the hell they are. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, on that note, everyone, have a great weekend, a great week ahead of you. Manifest positivity in your life, and have a good one.
Peace.
Monica, where can they find us again?
They can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and now iTunes. And please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment. You can shoot us an email or a voice message if you'd like. And with all that, love and gratitude.
Remember to call your aunties or your girlfriends and say hi. Bye.